Thank you for your help with doing the Sign Up Genius data entry. I'm going to share my screen and go over the task itself so you can quickly see what is involved. I also have written instructions with pictures that you can go through detailed. Okay. The first thing that you will need to access is the most recent list of precincts, as well as access the Sign Up Genius itself. So we're going to start from the very beginning on both of these. So we would go to Cobb Elections, elections reference voter maps, and I have provided this link on the instructions. You will then scroll down to where you see a list of precincts, view a list of the precincts sorted by, and then we're going to do precinct name. When we select by precinct name, you will see the most recent list of precincts. We're always going to use what is most recent on the website because it does change. You can see that this was last changed on 5/27, even though it was uploaded maybe a different time than that. So that's one item. The next item we need to do is we need to actually access the Sign Up Genius. So we're going to go to signupgenius.com. And again, that is provided to you. You won't be logged in, obviously. So you will log in by pressing login over here. The email address is cobbgop@gmail.com. When you decide that you are going to help us, I will send you the temporary password so that you can access it. You will then log in. Under the signups created tab, you are going to go down to the poll watching November 8th general election sign up. It has not been published. You are going to come over to the pencil and press edit sign up. Now we're going to navigate over to the slots tab, which is right here. We're going to navigate all the way down to the bottom. And we're going to make sure first that you can see 50 at a time versus 10 because you'd have to scroll over a lot. The next thing that we need to do once we're sure that it's 50, if you press 50, it might jump you up to the bottom. You'll need to scroll back down to the bottom. And then we need to navigate to the next blank slot. So as you can see, these slots have already been filled with the precinct code and address. So we need to navigate to the next available one. So we're going to start on page 3. If you start on page 3 and start scrolling down, you will see that I have done it until KE2A. One of the main things that you're going to need to do is identify where we left off and what's the next precinct so that there's no overlap whatsoever. So we've identified KE2A is the last precinct entered. They are being entered alphabetically by precinct name. You will notice that the precinct code might not match the actual precinct name. We're not adding precinct names because people did not find that to be helpful. They wanted to know the location as well as the code. So what we now need to do is identify on the precinct list what the next precinct is that we need to enter. So we are going to use the shortcut key Control F on our keyboard to find the find function. I don't know how else you will do it with your different browsers, but if you just on your browser or Adobe PDF, if you just on your keyboard hold down Control and the F button, you will see a search function. As you can see, I've already typed this in. So KE2A is Kennesaw 2A. That's the last one entered. So I know that the next one I need to enter is KE3A. So in order to enter it on to the Sign Up Genius, I'll go to the next blank slot. You can see these are all completed. I will scroll to the very first blank slot, press the pencil, which is edit, delete location. Now I need to add the location by pressing this little icon next to location. It will say select the address, and we need to add the address by pressing this little plus button. You will then literally copy this information. So see, I'm copying the name of the code of the precinct as well as the location. I'm right clicking on my mouse and pressing copy. You can also do the shortcut function Control C on your keyboard. Then I will right click and say paste, or Control V is your shortcut. The only weird naming structure that we have here is that we do want to make it visually easier for people to see. So after the code, we're leaving a space, putting the hyphen, and then another space. That's the only odd thing that we're doing. So now you can see it starts with the code, a space, a dash, a space, and then the name of the location. Then we would come back here, right click, copy, come over to the address, right click, paste. Now, if there's any additional punctuation that we need to get rid of, please do. Okay, then the city is Kennesaw, right click, copy, right click, paste. Okay, the state is Georgia, the zip code is 30144, and the country is USA. Okay, so you can literally copy and paste and data entry this. This we would prefer that you do copy and paste versus typing, as well as the address, because we have had some misspellings on the code and the address, and it's very easy to do if you're manually keying it in. If you copy and paste, the rate error is much lower. Okay, so on this address section, press save. You'll be taken back to this slot information. You're going to say save. You can see it's entered in there. Now we see that KE3A is the most recent one. So if it's KE3A, we know that the next one is KE4A that we need to enter. And we will literally go down the list on this Sign Up Genius until we're done. You don't ever really need to remember where you left off because the process is the same. Just log in, go to the last one that you completed, KE3A. So if you left, you've done a whole bunch, then you need to come back. You would look, okay, KE3A. Okay, so KE3A was last done, which means my next one is KE4A. So you never really should get lost. When you're done doing this, we have added many slots, more so than are needed. So the very last thing to do would be on pages 5 and 6, if there are any leftover slots, to come in here and press the delete this date option. And yes, delete this date. And then it would just go away. You can't really tell because I don't have a bunch on here. Some other items, if you messed up on one of those locations. So for example, I'm scrolling down here and I'm on page, I believe it was 2. I had an error on one of these locations. I put a plus sign instead of the dash. So I did Control F and I found it because scrolling through wasn't finding it fast enough. So right here, HT01. So what I would do is I would press the edit. I would go to the location again, find HT01. So you would literally need to scroll down to HT01 on this list. You can, while selecting and hovering over it, do the edit button. It's saying, are you sure all signups using this will be changed? And then you can say yes, then make your edit, and then save. And now, done. Choose that as your address and save. It might have to change some item, but that is the only way I found. If you were to delete this, it would mess everything up because you can't go back and add a new one. You would literally have to delete all of these other ones in order to add that one back. So unfortunately, we can't move them around like that. It is not friendly in that way. So don't delete the slot in the middle if you've made a mistake. Fix it right then. And once you're done, you just save and continue, email me back, and then we'll publish it. There's a separate video on how to do the mail merge for the item, but thank you so much.